go. Lewis, we're on the internet.
What?
We're on the internet.
Okay, let's do that.
You ready?
Let's do the internet.
Okay, here we go. Let's internet. 1, 2, 3, internet.
Four souls will enter. None will emerge.
Oh, hi, Mark.
If you have the balls, tune in for our weekly discussion for movies, and more movies. Movie news and things they watch on their Netflix queue. It's Hanging from the Balcony with Lewis the Professor,
I have literally the smallest muscles a man can have.
Miss Kimberly the Professor,
Shut the fuck up, all of you.
Nathan Betts,
You like that?
and Thomas the Doubter.
How long have you been doing yoga?
You're listening to Hangin' from the Balcony.
And record. And welcome to Hanging from the Balcony. This is our 99th episode. Wow, we have been around for quite a while.
We've been doing this. We've been doing stuff.
Welcome. Well, this is a podcast where we talk about movies and movie news, and we just discuss our thoughts and feelings about whatever's going on in the world of cinema.
Yes.
I am Lewis the Professor. Thank you for tuning in. Over here is Nathan the Producer.
Hello.
Bonjour, Nathan.
Hello. Oui.
Hello. Boy, that was good.
I know. We're sadly missing people tonight.
We are missing Kimberly the Professor. She is at a rehearsal. She may drop in at some point, but what if, because we're also missing Thomas the Doubter.
I know.
What if people are being picked off as we approach our 100th episode?
Oh, shit.
What if next episode is just you?
It's just me. Hi, guys.
It's just me. Hey, everybody.
It's Hanging from the Balcony with Lewis, Professor, who's not here. Kimberly's gone. Thomas hates me. I'm just going to turn on the microphone and cry for an hour about how I hate my life. Nobody likes me. It'd be a really weird episode. It'd get dark quick.
I think it'd be okay. It'd be about as good as what we typically do.
So some stuff happened in the world of movies, and that's pretty much it. I watched a movie. It was homework. I signed it to myself because no one was around.
Well, let's talk about some movies.
Okay,
Did you
let's
see
do that.
Did you see any movies this last week?
You know what? I was looking and racking my brain. The only thing I can think of is I watched Out Cold again, which I've watched 1,000 times. It's from 2001-ish. First time I ever saw Zach Galifianakis.
Out Cold. Have I seen Out Cold?
Snowboarding movie.
Oh, Jesus.
I
I think I know
comedy.
about that one. Isn't that the one that's based on a famous play or famous story?
don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It could. I mean,
Maybe.
it's
What happens
They're
in
in
it?
they're in Alaska.
Okay.
There are a bunch of misfits and shitty employees that run this little ski resort called Bull Mountain.
Uh-huh.
And Lee Majors comes and buys it off of them. They turn it into City Slickerville.
Okay.
And a bunch of shenanigans happen, and it's really funny. Zach Galifianakis gets his penis stuck in a hot tub sucker
Again.
Sounds
Sounds like a good one.
David Koechner's the crazy guy named Stumpy.
Out Cold. I guarantee that's based on something.
Jason London is in it. He's the main guy named Rick. I guess he's not the London twin that went crazy. The one from Mallrats is the one that went crazy, right?
What the fuck are we talking about?
Jason and Jeremy London, the twin actors that were pretty famous at the beginning of the 2000s.
I don't remember those guys
And
at all.
late 99s. Jeremy London was one of the main characters from Mallrats.
Okay.
With what's his name, Jason Lee and all those guys.
Jason Lee, sure. Okay.
And he was one of the main guys. And I think he recently went kind of nuts. You know, there's a magical box that could probably.
If only
tell us
we
this stuff.
had access to that magical
yeah.
box. So you went and watched Out Cold again.
I watched Out Cold again. And then since it was Valentine's Day last weekend, I saw bits and pieces of a bunch of shitty romance movies that I intentionally tuned out from.
Nice.
One of them included Sweet Home Alabama, tuned out. One of them was
I think
Channing
I've seen
Tatum.
that. It was bad. Yeah. Okay. Channing Tatum.
Romance movie, before Channing Tatum was hugely Channing Tatum.
Was it Step Up?
No, after Step Up.
But before
he became
Magic Mike.
Before Magic Mike, yeah. It was like, I don't know.
Huh. I don't know.
But the premise of it seemed decent enough for where I caught like a good 45 minutes of it, but
Okay.
I don't know, I tuned in and out. I went on a trip with another couple. We did like a double date for Valentine's Day
fun.
weekend and went out into the middle of nowhere. So down in Cascade, on Lake Cascade. So I didn't really watch a shit ton of movies. Especially, I have like 2 movies that have been sitting out in the other room for like 2 weeks that I haven't got to yet.
Oh yeah, I know
Space
that
Station
story.
76 that I'm really excited to watch. I'll tell you guys about next time when I get a chance to watch it. And Locke is out there, which I'm really excited to see.
Which Kim and I saw and we really enjoyed.
And I got it. I bumped that actually up to the top of my list based off of your guys' rave review. So that being said, I haven't made it to the movie theater and I barely watched anything. I
Okay.
feel like the world, but I did watch the homeworks at least.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you talk about what you saw, and I will get this.
You're going to go to
Jason Jeremy thing.
Wikipedia
Yeah.
and look up Out Cold.
Yes.
Because I want to know what it was based off of. Because I had someone explain to me that it was based on another story. Okay. Let's see. Feature film. Go down to Casablanca. It's based on Casablanca.
It is.
Yeah, it's a remake of Casablanca.
Makes a number of references to the film Casablanca. Really?
Yeah,
How?
yeah. I don't know, but when I talk to people about Casablanca, they're like, "Oh, that's like that Out Cold movie."
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was I read that and I thought it was a complete joke. Because I don't know what I was reading.
Yeah.
I was reading something about this online and somebody said something about Casablanca. I was like, well, that's somebody clearly being a fucking nut job.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna have to.
See, I
watch
haven't
them
seen
side
it
by
yet,
side
but I
then.
kind of need to because I've seen Casablanca so many goddamn times.
I own this movie if you'd like to borrow it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies you've seen before, I watched Singing in the Rain with my class
Yeah?
for the 20th time.
Yeah.
And some students and I started discussing what are the best musicals. So I went home and put together my list of favorites.
I read
which
your
you
list,
saw on
yes.
Facebook. And I'd like to report that. And the way I figure it is I take a musical.
Yes.
And then I take a second one and I go, which of these would I rather watch?
Okay.
And that's how I put them in order, okay? And my number one musical,
Team
America.
America. Yeah. How could you not?
it's just good.
It
I'm
is.
sorry. It's so good. Okay, so anyway, we saw some movies. Kimberly and I, she's not here to talk. That's it. You just pass
This
it.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not really here to talk right now, but I'll try and cover for her on these.
Okay.
So we first saw American Sniper,
Yes.
which you talked about last time.
Yes.
I was very interested to see what all the controversy was and how it
Yes.
played out and stuff, and what the movie actually was versus what I was hearing. 'Cause
Yes.
on politically, I was hearing people say this is a movie about bravery and freedom in America, and then
Yeah.
I was hearing people say this is a movie about warmongering and
Yeah.
hatred and intolerance, and I was hearing all of these political thoughts.
Yes.
And so I was like, I want to see what this is for myself. I went and watched it.
Yes.
And that movie's about PTSD.
Yeah.
That's what the movie is.
Hands down, yeah.
And if you don't see that that's what that movie is, yeah, you can argue, like one of the arguments I heard from the left
Yes.
was they show the Twin Towers going down and the next thing he's in Iraq, which means that somehow this is telling America that because, that the Iraqis
If this, then that. Yeah.
caused 9/11.
Yeah.
And that's so untrue. Well, no, that's not what the movie showed. What the movie showed was he saw the Twin Towers go down, and then his military
he
unit was
reacted.
sent to Iraq,
Yes.
which is exactly what happened.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I don't know what George Bush and Cheney were up to, but I definitely know what the soldiers believed when they
Yes.
went there.
And what they were told, and
Absolutely.
what they are required to do. You get your orders, you go follow them out.
So then all that aside, whether
Yes.
the politics aside, the movie keeps coming back to the fact that this guy can't deal with normal life.
Yes.
It keeps showing him at home. And in fact, the last 20, 30 minutes of the movie are this guy at home
yes.
trying to deal with his life and finding that the only way he can ultimately recover is by helping his fellow vets.
Yes, and emerging himself.
Yes.
I find that he helped his fellow vets and like fully immersing and embracing his family unit and his family
So,
as a whole.
if the guy
really
in real
helped.
life, if Chris Kyle in real life is a hero or if he's an asshole, I don't even know if that matters.
Yeah.
Now, you could make the argument that if all Clint Eastwood wanted to do was make a movie about PTSD, he shouldn't have based it on a true life person. Fine. Maybe
Sure.
not. I think for some people it means more when it's based on a real life person because it's a real life situation.
Right. Well, and they, Bradley Cooper and Clint Eastwood actually met him before his unfortunate demise, which is another story within itself, that happens literally the last 30 seconds of the movie. But they had met him and they were working on this story. So like they had met him as like a person of interest, and his story inspired them to come on in. His story like inspired them to set out to do this endeavor in the first place.
Right.
So, I mean, regardless, come on in. Yeah. Kimberly's here. We're talking.
Yay.
We're talking about your guys' first movie. So
Yeah, we're just on American Sniper. I was just saying it's about PTSD. Okay, we'll get you some headphones and try to put your mic in front of you. Okay, so the second movie, maybe you can talk about the second movie once you get all set up.
did you like American Sniper?
I thought it was good.
Shit, she's not on. Talk again.
Am I in? Oh
There you
wow!
go.
Oh wow! It sounds so different. I love it. I love it.
Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, hate being late.
That's okay.
No, I thought it was a good movie. I think what I just caught him say was that people might be missing the overall theme that we actually saw.
Yeah.
Which I think is on the screen. Like I don't feel like
it's not a secret.
I'm not like saying, well, this is what's important to me.
Right.
Like I think that's what the story is about.
Well, and I think based on real life, real time, or not real time now, but what was going on in real time at that time, people are trying to bring that back up. So we're talking, what, 12, 13 years ago now? They're trying to readdress some of the things that were going on politically. And yes, that is a story about that time period, but it wasn't about the politics of that time period. It's about a dude that saw a need and went and fought and then was struggling with something that happens to a lot of people. I watched my best friend go over there and come back a completely different person.
Right.
He's not different bad. He's just different. He's a different man now.
And I feel like no matter what your politics are, if you watch them, like it doesn't make sense to me to watch this movie and then say, well, my politics are A, so I'm going to only talk about this, or B. It's like, well, talk about what the movie's about.
Right.
It's about dealing, what we did to our soldiers and how we haven't taken care of them and what we can do to help.
Yeah.
All those things are in the movie. I don't see why that's not what we're discussing.
Well, the fact that we have an ending like we do means that we need to talk about PTSD.
Right.
I know
Right.
you said that we didn't want to, spoil anything with the ending last week.
Right.
But,
Because I knew you guys were going to go see it soon.
absolutely.
But now that you have...
How can you not think that that's a part of it?
Oh, yeah. What I mean...
Yeah.
And people came out in droves to support him, and whether or not you agree with that person or not, ultimately his heart isn't beating anymore.
Right.
And
That's true.
he put down a lot of sacrifice for this country, whether you agree with why he was sacrificing or not. Regardless, he still did it. And I think that focusing on the wrong things, yes, unfortunately it is Hollywood. We had to have some sort of climax, and a lot of the story comes out to be invented. Unfortunate, but hey, it's Hollywood. It's still a fucking movie.
And actually, I was really interested in how some of the combat sequences were handled, because typically when you set up a bad guy,
Yes.
like there's a character in this movie called the Butcher.
Yes.
And he walks around with the drill and he drills people in the head.
Yes. And legs and
And
other
legs
things,
and stuff.
yeah.
Well, the Butcher is completely invented for the movie.
Right.
So typically when you invent a big villain like this, it's so that you can have a cool showdown where our hero gets him. If you go back and watch this, you'll see there's a sequence where they're getting close to the Butcher, and the Butcher hops into a car and drives down the street, but our hero's still dealing with problems back where he is, so he's fighting. Meanwhile, you see another soldier go down the street and fire a rocket, and you see an explosion. You don't even see the car go up, and then they come out and go, "We killed the Butcher."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, well, this isn't a typical Hollywood thing where if this movie was about, like
that guy,
we're here to kill evil fuckers,
Yeah.
they would have made a bigger deal about killing the Butcher.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about the effects afterwards.
Yeah.
There's also a scene where one of their guys gets injured, and then they're sitting around going, "This is bullshit. We got to go get him." And so
Yeah.
they go out to get the bad guy, and another guy gets killed.
Yes.
And they say
It goes worse.
They
yeah.
say, "Yeah, we reacted with emotion rather than logically.
Yeah.
Which to me, as much as you might say that this is Clint Eastwood going Iraq was a good idea and all that, because I'm not sure that's what, because you wouldn't include that scene.
No, you wouldn't.
The whole point of that scene is sometimes we get ourselves into shit that we shouldn't be involved in.
Right.
We don't think first. We hop in.
We act on emotion.
We act on
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe this is a right-wing movie. I feel like there's a lot of left-wing stuff in there too.
I felt like it was a movie.
I
honestly
think at the end of the day, it's really a movie about soldiers and,
Yeah.
and dealing with
And
what you go through.
One thing that I was super fortunate about is I saw no previews for this movie, saw the movie, and then heard about all the controversy.
Oh.
I went into this movie knowing almost, and that's one of the reasons why I was super blown away by the ultimate ending of it. I was like, holy fuck, what happened? But like I started hearing all the controversy pretty much like within 3 or 4 hours after having saw it. I was like, wait, what? I just, are we talking about the same thing? I just watched this. What the hell? So I was kind of confused by a lot of it, and then I realized, the time the person throwing the first stone, Michael Moore, didn't really help, and it's just like so like
I would like to say though, it wasn't my favorite. I thought that a lot of the special effects were shitty. Yeah, believe it or not, like the first time when he kills this first person, he's up on the roof and he sees something and he shoots
It's the
that
kid
person.
and the wife and the mom, right?
Yes.
Isn't that his
The
first?
blood,
it is, yeah.
the blood from the shot to me looked like such
Wasn't
a
right.
graphic. It looked so computer graphics, and it's a weird thing to complain about.
Yeah.
Like it has almost nothing to do with the movie.
But in a way, it pulls you out. I think
It pulled me out.
That's-
And a lot of people have talked about the baby when he's holding his baby, how fake it looks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's weird that those kind of things kind of got under my skin.
Yeah, I noticed the baby right away too. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, that is fake.
Baby was funny.
Super fake baby.
Something funny with the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know if you talked about the fact that he wasn't necessarily an American sniper, but like a sniper for the first 2 times, and then he just ran around as a grunt, essentially.
That actually really
Like-
bugged me. And it may be true or not, but I could tell that like the first 30 minutes he's sitting on the roof.
They're like,
going,
oh, we can't make this movie with him all alone trying to make decisions and like doing nothing and then
Like,
waiting
he's
and then
gotta do
shooting.
something. He's gotta
Like
do
so they
something.
made him active.
So his
and that
whole
meant he had to
second
go
and third
downstairs.
tour, he's down on the ground
Yeah.
kicking indoors, which maybe he really did. I don't know. But I was like, when's the sniping? I want more sniping.
I want to see
Yeah.
more sniping too.
Yeah.
That kind of bugged me too.
The ultimate
Yeah.
showdown though with the dude 2,100 yards away. I don't know if everybody really thinks about the logistics of that or not. That is 22 or 21 football fields away.
Yeah.
That would make his target look like a pea.
That's what I
And
liked
his
about
entire
it. Was
body
when he
would
would
be the
look
size
through
of a pea, yeah.
the eye scope, and you could barely see like where the stuff was.
Yeah.
You're like he's aiming it ahead like there.
So
And there was all the clothes in the way, and I was really
know.
worried. But yeah.
So another thing I found out was that this is just a gun geek thing. Just allow it for me for 30 seconds. So the scope that he preferred, a dude in Orfino makes,
Oh yeah.
and it's only magnified up to like 7 or 8 times, which is not even the highest that it can go. But he liked that scope so much that's what he liked to use. And so a dude right up for people that aren't from the area, Orfino is about an hour away from here, and it's a little tiny podunk town of like 400 to 500 people.
Yeah.
And that was the scope that he preferred. So
that's
I
interesting.
found that out from
That's
a army
interesting.
friend the other day.
Have you watched Top Shots yet?
I still
That
need to
shot,
watch that
Top
show.
Shot.
You're gonna fucking love it.
It's the best show
I gotta
ever.
see it.
It's
I
the
have to.
best.
We
Is it-
love it
How do you
fantastic.
guys watch it?
on
Netflix.
TV when it comes on.
Oh damn.
No, we.
They have it on Netflix. That's
Okay.
where we first
You
saw
can get it on Netflix. We watch it just on TV,
Okay.
right?
Our folks told it. Well, my parents told me about it actually, and then we're like, "What?" And then we started watching
Check
it.
Netflix.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I
All
really
right.
want to see that.
So that's American Sniper. We also saw another movie in the theater. Kim, why don't you introduce that one?
Oh, The Theory of Everything, in which I was like nearly constantly crying the whole movie. You heard? Did you
that
hear?
was such a good
It was
movie.
so
Yeah.
good. It was so good, and it's just so hard to not feel when you see someone's physical ability just deteriorate in front of your eyes, and to see that loss in the transition. And also what was really touching, and we weren't expecting it, was there's actually a couple love stories in there that are really surprising and very real. The book that the movie's based off of is by Stephen Hawking's first wife.
Oh, okay.
And so the story is told through her eyes and her perspective.
Wow.
At the same time, I feel like it's incredibly real and honest and sincere. And I absolutely feel from start to finish that she loves him, that she will always love him, even though they both actually went with
Drifted
different
apart,
partners.
yeah.
Which, you know, we saw how tough it was to be a caregiver, a caretaker, but also the person that's being taken care of. And just, it was good. Eddie Redmayne's
fantastic.
amazing. So
I don't know how he goes.
I can't
from
recommend it enough for all.
He goes
all
from
the
a fucking
things.
normal guy
Yeah,
to Stephen Hawking.
He did it.
he did it.
And by the end,
and you
you're
believe
like,
it, and you
you see every step of the way, and you get to the end, you're like, that's Stephen Hawking.
Yeah,
Like he
Yeah.
looks exactly like him.
wonder
I don't
how
know
they
how
did
he
that.
does.
we saw him
Just
on an
his
interview
acting.
at the
It's just his
Daily Show,
acting.
actually, and he talked about the process. He
Yeah.
actually went and talked to all the people that have that disease.
Yeah.
Right.
And what happens with your motor skills and your motor ability and your hands and how it comes and goes in weird spurts and he just learned
It
and then he
basically
just tried to
shrivels
replicate.
you up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Essentially.
You
And
lose
you see
all
his
function.
hands, like you can just kind of see him get more and more blocked.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just his acting's amazing. But yeah, the story took me by surprise.
Yeah, I
Mostly
didn't-
because it's based on a true story, and so
And
Yeah.
the dude's still alive.
yeah. But like
he was given like what
2 years. He was
2
given 2
years?
years.
And he's 70 now?
he's lived
71?
50. So since it's Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah, which is pretty much a death sentence.
Yeah. Well, it was crazy, but I kept going. So it's one of those stories where the girl is like, I will be with you forever. I'm going to take care of you. I don't care if you have this thing. I want to be there. And you're like, okay. And then after 20 or 30 years of this, she's like, I kind of want to go be with someone else. And he's like, okay.
Okay.
And you're like, what? This love story is getting less traditional.
It's going in a really
but
weird
that's
turn.
where the reality comes in, where, like I said, I feel like those two will always love each other.
Yeah, they do
in
a really
way, in
good
a way
job.
that no one can ever know. Like they shared so much from the beginning all the way through everything. So, yeah, it was really good. I just can't say enough good things about the acting, about the story, about some unexpected things that you'll just be delighted with. But really, it's just a good story, and
It
it's
is.
well told,
It is.
and it's well acted.
Yeah, I was really surprised with
Yeah.
how, but more than anything for me, the two leads, Eddie Redmayne, and I don't know the woman
don't
that played
either.
his wife, but they both do a really good job. In fact, I've seen Eddie Redmayne before, and I wasn't like all excited about him when I saw him in
Right.
Les Mis. I was like, because I hated that movie.
Yeah.
And then we just saw him in
Well, we'll talk about that next week.
something that we're gonna watch for next week.
Right, we just saw him in something for next week.
Yeah.
So
But I don't know. Like sometimes you just feel like something's just I don't know. It was really really good.
so Kimberly cried.
Like, oh my God,
The
this
whole
is the real
movie-
story. This is the real story. Like, there were just moments of overwhelming anguish or sadness or happiness or joy or just, I don't know, any feeling. And I just was like teary. I was teary. And then the credits go and I'm still teary. And then I try and talk and then I can't stop crying.
Oh.
And then we went to the store to buy some food, and Kim had to put her hoodie up because she was still crying.
Oh my God.
And she said, and then people would walk by and look at me like, you monster. What did you do to her? And so I go, that's right. You better listen next time.
No, none of that. But yeah, I did. I took in like 3 tissues and walked around the store and just cried in my hoodie. Like, I could not stop crying.
just sobbed into your hoodie.
I did. I was so affected by
that's
it.
so crazy.
Yeah. So it's good. It's definitely, it's a good movie. I'm glad
It's
it's up
great.
for
I'm so glad.
some of the Oscar
And I'm glad
nominations.
he's getting recognition too. I think he did just a super job.
Yeah. So one more movie that we saw, and
Oh,
then we'll move
yeah.
on to our Oscar picks. By the way, we're gonna do Oscar picks.
We're going to talk about
Kim.
Oscars.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. That's fantastic.
So Kim and I rented a movie called Tusk by Kevin Smith.
I know, right?
Please tell me it was good. Please tell me it was good.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Have you ever heard?
'Cause
of,
there's a sequel to it already.
Of like,
You're
what?
kidding me. What?
Called Yoga Hosers with the kids.
I don't know what that means.
His kid's in Tusk, right?
What?
His kid.
Who's his?
Harley Quinn Smith is his kid, right? Isn't she in it for
maybe.
like 10 minutes?
I don't know.
A little
Who's
bit.
Harlequin Smith?
That's Kevin Smith's kid. And
Oh,
then
is it the girl?
yeah, and then
Okay.
Does she
The
play the
girl.
lead girl?
I think so.
Yeah, she's
No,
the
that was
girlfriend.
Genesis Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Oh.
and Johnny Depp's kid's supposedly in it, right?
Johnny Depp's in it.
Johnny Depp's in it.
And I thought his daughter was in it.
No, that's a secret
Don't
spoiler.
ruin his- You just fucking ruined
I
that
ruined the
shit.
whole movie.
Okay, anyway.
So here's the deal.
Okay.
So apparently on one of those Smodcast episodes,
Yes.
Kevin Smith and some other guy were sitting around goofing off, and they said, "Let's come up with the dumbest idea for a movie ever."
Yes.
And they spell. I haven't listened to this. I need to actually listen to this podcast. But they just come up with an idea about a guy who wants to turn someone into a walrus.
Yes.
And they just are cracking each other up,
Yeah.
coming up with
they're
little
coming
silly
up with like
things.
the most ridiculous things, and we at the very end of the credits, during the credits
This
sequence,
is how we know. While
they-
the credits roll, you hear
You hear
part
the
of the
podcast.
podcast, and you
and
realize,
they describe like the entire third act.
yeah, they
Like,
describe the
it's
ending,
exactly what happened.
you're
We
like,
saw it.
and you're like, that's just what we
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
Smodcast is Kevin Smith and his producer buddy Scott Mosier, who helped him produce
Okay.
Mallrats and the first two
Okay.
Clerks.
Well,
Okay.
And those two are fucking hilarious together when they get to chit chat.
they were cracking us.
They
Yeah.
up.
ruined every Harry Potter movie ever. They gave it like a 4-hour review of every Harry Potter movie that ever came out.
Oh,
and
wow.
They ruined.
I gotta listen to this podcast.
You would really dig that
I would.
podcast. It's really good.
But yeah, so the idea is kind of clear from just the trailer, and you need to watch it to see it play out. But it's a fucked up movie, right? What else do you want to say about it without spoiling it?
Well, think our last movie from Kevin Smith,
Red State.
Red
Red
State,
State.
yeah.
It gets real. It's not just ridiculous, or it's not just a joke, or it's not just playing for a scary look or like a little bit of horror. It's horrific.
But there's these moments where it's so weird that you're just laughing. Like, I can't
It's
believe
weird
they're
and you
doing
laugh,
this.
but you laugh because things are weird and uncomfortable
Oh,
and
yeah.
strange and scary. You laugh sometimes because you're scared. Like you are
Haley Joel Osment
you are
said it.
mesmerized by the old man. What's his name?
Yes, Michael Parks.
Michael Parks.
As he was in Red State. Michael Parks
Oh
is
my
a
God.
force
Yeah.
Amazing.
of nature.
Okay, so Harley
Oh,
Quinn
they're the girls
Smith.
behind
Oh,
the
they're the two clerks.
They're the two.
They're hilarious.
They're
The-
fantastic.
The sequel is
Okay.
starring them, both
So
of them, and
they're
they're
in-
already worked on it, and they're pretty much done with that too.
They're
Oh,
in
I'd
this
watch
little
that.
like quickie mart that's
Yeah.
on the highway. Those two clerks, the girls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
so the
and
sequel's called Yoga Hosers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Nice.
Because
Nice.
Justin Long's like, can you give me directions to this place? And they're like, American guys. So you go about up this, and they're like, do I go about it? Do I do it? And he gives them so much shit for having
Yeah.
Canadian accents,
Yeah.
and they're just like, fucking Americans.
No, but the movie like
He named his
as
daughter Harley
soon-
Quinn after the DC comic
Yeah.
character. That's hilarious.
it just starts very quickly and
Yeah.
it progresses really quickly, and you're just sitting there going no, and it is. There's like there's stuff that you can't deal with as a viewer.
You know what? Also, he makes some choices as a filmmaker that I think are really interesting and strong. Like, there's certain cuts to new scenes when you're like with Justin Long, and then you cut back to his girlfriend to see what's going on with her. And I think those choices are very artistic. Like, I go, wow, I haven't seen other filmmakers make a choice like that. And he gets shit on a lot for being a no talent. You know?
No, yeah.
I think his last
Well,
couple
He's
movies have been really strong.
I think what's happened is that he's embraced all the shit talking that he's taken ever since 2004 or whenever he started getting shit all over. he's embraced it so much that he kind of turned it into a fucking art form of shitting on himself. He'll shit all over himself, and then he'll go off and make fucking Red State. And ever since Red State come out, he is also his own editor. So he'll shoot a movie, go home, edit what they shot that night, and show everybody the next day what they just did. So the whole movie kind of goes together as they do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you were saying there's just touches and there's great moments. I think one of them is the phone ring.
Yeah.
There's a ringtone and that Justin Long has on his phones from his friends, and there's ringtones that his friends get on their phones when he calls them.
Yeah.
And there's just really great little touches. Also, yeah.
Justin
right?
Long does a really good job.
There's some humor with the detective. There are two friends.
Johnny Depp is hilarious. I thought he was really funny.
He was actually good, like good Johnny Depp weird.
Yeah.
It's probably the best I've seen Johnny Depp
In like 10 years.
in fucking 10 years.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
first time I was like, oh, this is why I used to like Johnny Depp.
Right.
But
Okay.
there's just some like, again, those are laughs, but they're not laughs because it's like ha funny. It's like you're laughing because the stuff that everyone's saying and talking about is just horrific. It's horrendous. It's terrible. It's macabre. It's just, you're like grossed out and you're like, yeah, pump it up to the
Pump
top.
it.
Pump it.
Oh, damn it.
Whiplash looks
that's
good
yeah,
too.
that's fine too.
All right. Sorry guys, we're adjusting our Netflix queue as we talk.
I just wanted to see if Tusk was available, and it is. So
Yeah, Tusk is. That's why we watch that shit. But definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth talking about afterwards.
Yeah.
You'll have to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Hold someone's hand.
You'll
while you
probably
watch this
need
movie.
someone to help you deal
Yeah,
a little bit.
just a little bit.
It's a little. It's actually, it was one of those things where at the end I was like, how do I feel about this? And
Yeah.
then suddenly the Smodcast comes on while the credits roll, and as the Smodcast goes, I go, oh,
it's a joke.
it's
kind of.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel like this is ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
okay to see this as a joke because it's not a happy ending. It's a
Okay.
hard ending, and I was just kind of like disturbed.
Yeah.
But then when I heard him laughing, it helped bring me down.
Well,
Yeah.
So definitely listen to the credits.
Okay. Well, and another thing that's
Yeah.
great about that show in particular, you could go back through their episodes, and they've been doing it since like they're one of the first 5 podcasts that ever were.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been around since like 2007. If you were to go back through their fucking library of shit that they've come up with, you could probably go through and you could probably make easily 20 movies off of shit that they just sit around and bullshit about. They just sit around, they bullshit for, and their show's like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. Sometimes they'll go long, they'll go 3 hours. They don't care. They'll just keep talking and talking and talking and talking. And they're fucking they're really funny.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to check it out.
You should go, if you get a chance to, and if it's still available, go back into like the 70, like through like the 60s and 60s through like 120 episodes or so, because that's when the Harry Potter stuff is going on.
Oh,
and if you
okay.
catch any of them, any one of the Harry Potter reviews is just gut roll hilarious. It's so great. He's like so into whatever he's talking about all the time. He's pretty fantastic. to
Yeah,
listen
it
to,
sounds
so.
really good. So let's talk about the Oscars.
Oscars.
So we're not going to hit all the categories, but we're going to give our opinions on a few.
Yeah, we're gonna do the main ones.
The ones that
important
we
ones.
care about.
Yes.
So we're going to start with writing.
Visual effects. Oh,
Who would you go to for visual effects?
out of this list,
Interstellar, Planet of the Apes.
unfortunately, I've only seen half of these, but out of what I saw,
I've seen all of them. Probably Interstellar.
Interstellar would
Yeah.
probably win,
Yeah,
but
I'd say Interstellar.
but since I haven't seen it, I would have to go with Captain America because
I
that was
love that
pretty
fucking-
visually stunning.
All
too.
right. Best adapted screenplays. These are screenplays that have been adapted from some book or play or some shit.
So it's American Sniper, Imitation Game, Inherent Vice, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash.
Yes.
Right.
I was reading the wrong column.
So I've only seen 3 of those 5.
Yeah, we haven't seen Whiplash or Inherent Vice as much as I can't wait to see Inherent Vice for that stupid
I really
punch and
wanna
the
see
sock
that.
out. I love that trailer.
I've
Yeah.
read
Oh my
Inherent
God.
Vice, and I
You
didn't
had
like
Pinchon,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's one of those books that I just couldn't get into.
Oh, it's a PTA.
Yeah.
Yes, that's another great reason to watch it.
Well, I was really impressed with the adaptation for Theory of Everything, but actually I think Imitation Game might have my strongest screenplay of those 3.
Which one was that one again? Remind me.
That's the one about the
Alan Turing.
Alan Turing during the Enigma
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
And the reason I might give it to Imitation Game is I feel like that's the least interesting story to put on a screen because it's
Right.
just like math guys sitting around doing math, and somehow they kept me interested, which I think is impressive. Theory of Everything's really solid. American Sniper does some did a lot of adapting, so you can't underplay those as screenplays. They're both solid, but boy, for me, I'm picking Imitation Game. What about you, Kim?
I think a favorite's probably going to be Whiplash because it's getting a lot
It's favored,
of
Yeah.
a lot of favor, a lot of people saying yep. So I'd say probably that one might be picked, but I'm going with the Theory of Everything. But I guess you guys were surprised by that. It was amazing.
Nathan, I'm thinking since you've only seen one movie, you're going to go with American Sniper.
I'll just go with American Sniper since I've seen it. I have heard nothing but good stuff about Whiplash, and I just got it.
Me too.
It's
Simmons, everything.
I think it's actually available now. I will double check.
Oh, do that.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
So
releases on the 24th.
The 24th, so it'll
which
be,
is in a couple days.
Yeah. So by the time I watch the ones that are ahead of this, I'll be able
there.
to.
Cool.
Get it.
So best original screenplay are we have here Birdman, Boyhood, Foxcatcher, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Nightcrawler.
Oh my God, those were 5 fantastic films. Aside from the fact that I haven't seen Foxcatcher.
I haven't seen Foxcatcher.
But we hear nothing but great things about that.
Currently, right?
Yeah, it's not available.
Yeah.
I mean, we're hearing great stuff about that. So I'm sorry.
That's the Channing Tatum and Steve Carell one. Right?
I just want to see all those
The
movies
wrestlers.
again.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to win, and what do you think should win?
I think what is great is Boyhood, as I don't think it should be in the writing category.
Yeah.
I think it's good, but I don't think it has a chance in this category. I think it's going to be Birdman.
Just because of how freaking inventive it was and out of left
Grand
field.
Budapest?
For me, Grand Budapest Hotel is the best screenplay. Nightcrawler, I might even put second.
I think Nightcrawler's too small. I think it's too little of a film. Like I don't think as many people saw it. It didn't have a great release. It was like an indie film, and so I feel like they just, because they're not a Hollywood release film with big screens, I think I just don't think it has much of a chance.
It's available! Yay!
So you can add it to your DVDs. What about you, Nathan?
Yeah.
Which of those did you see, and what would you give best writing to?
Out of those, only saw Grand Budapest and Birdman, and out of those two, I think Birdman was just a pinch more inventive for me. But
cool, that's a good answer.
But I have a hard time. I'm not a writer though, so I have a really hard time being. Or what's the right word for that? Honest or
honest. I lie all the time.
I have a hard time being fair to that category.
Sure. No, I think Birdman has some of the best dialogue.
Yes, and most interesting.
And in
dialogue.
that sense,
writing.
that it is the writing. In that sense, I think for me,
I know
Grand Budapest,
the story in a story in a story.
I like the structure. How
it's the way
built.
it's told.
Okay, so all that said, what's our next category, Nathan?
We
just did writing. We're gonna go up a bit. Nope.
Foreign language film.
Foreign language. We've all seen one, so we can't really vote on that.
It's really hard to find them. Lewis and I have been trying to look, and 3 are like saved, not ready. One's not even available, and the only other one is the one we saw.
Which is for homework.
Well, it will be tonight.
Yeah, homework tonight. Document, film editing.
Or did I assign Ida for this episode? I don't remember.
We'll go with it.
Yeah, I think I did. I hope you guys all watched Ida.
Here we go. Here's one. Directing.
Directing.
We got Alejandro Inarritu
for Birdman.
We got Richard Linklater for Boyhood.
Yeah.
Bennett Miller for Foxcatcher.
Maybe.
Wes Anderson for Grand Budapest.
Good.
And Morton. Is that Morton?
Yeah, Morton Tildum.
Sorry. Morton Tildum. Yeah, that is.
For Imitation Game.
That is Morton.
So I'm going to say right out of the gate, there are 3. I think Boyhood probably is going to win, and Richard Linklater is probably going to win Best Directing.
Just because of what he had to go through to get that movie?
If he doesn't, it's going to Birdman.
Yeah.
And I think
that.
Wes Anderson did maybe his best movie ever.
His perfect film, but he's
just up against some really hard
got
stuff.
Some great stuff.
The one that I haven't seen Foxcatcher, but as good as Imitation Game was, and as much I just got done saying I really like the screenplay, I can't say it's the best directing of it. There's no way it's the best directing.
I agree.
Yeah.
So if that wins, it would be insanity. It'll probably go to Boyhood, if not Birdman. But if it does go to Grand Budapest Hotel, I'll still cheer.
Oh yeah.
I'll be the only one in America.
No,
Definitely.
I think it's
Now, I don't know how many people give a shit about costume design, but there's some other ones in there that are actually just the one. Grand Budapest is also up for costume design.
Yeah, that looks all right.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in cinematography next to it.
Yeah, here we go.
Ida.
We got
Ida. Holy fuck, the cinematography there.
We got Unbroken, which is I didn't catch.
Angelina Jolie film.
The
yeah.
Jolie movie, yeah.
Mr. Turner, don't know what that is.
No,
Is that
I don't
Mr.
know.
Turner?
Oh, I think that's a Mike Lee movie.
Yeah.
I think that's a Mike Lee movie.
And then Grand Budapest and Birdman. So
Birdman probably deserves to win there.
probably
Especially the whole it's all one take
Well, yeah.
thing.
It-
Jesus, that was
Yeah,
so
that
impressive.
Probably will.
pretty impressive.
Don't get me wrong. Again, Grand Budapest Hotel for me was beautifully shot.
Yes.
It was beautifully. But Ida was probably the most beautiful thing.
Yeah, I was telling.
We'll talk about that in
we'll
about 10
yeah.
minutes.
We got some.
All right, so zip on up a bit more.
Okay. Animated. We got The Box Trolls, Big Hero 6. I don't know how that worked. How to Train Your Dragon, Song of the Sea, Tale of the Princess.
Where's the Lego
Kaguya.
movie?
I know.
Lego movie's not in there.
That's weird.
Sorry,
For
everyone's
me,
been
my-
saying that since they released
They
these.
have. My favorite animated this year was Big Hero 6.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think How to Train Your Dragon 2 is also amazing.
Yes, agreed.
You know, I haven't even
I'd be,
seen
I'd be happy
agree.
with either one of those winning.
I haven't even seen the first 5 Big Heroes, and I still just totally felt that's
Good one.
such
Lou.
a bad joke.
Totally good with
one.
jumping in at number 6, huh?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they don't want to give it to a sequel, but they'll give it to a
A
sixth.
sixth wool.
A sixth Big Hero.
Well, actually, I have to hand it to How to Train Your Dragon 2. How many sequels are as good, if not better, than the first one?
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
That's
I mean,
really
we're
impressive.
talking really short list. Like Die Hard 2 was way.
No.
I'm kidding.
Godfather
I'm
2.
kidding. I just.
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
That's one thing I did watch on my little mini vacation. They
Godfather
had
2?
no. Well,
No.
Godfather 1 because I hadn't seen that one. We didn't make it to 2. We were trying, but it's so
You all
fucking
fell asleep?
long.
Yeah.
But it was on VHS.
Ooh.
Shitty VHS.
Oh,
I'm talking like
Wow.
rainbow colors and
oh
yeah,
that's
it was
hard.
pretty. It was pretty 80s.
That makes a
What a VCR.
first time to try
You
and
knew?
watch it?
No. Well, yes, that was the first time I've seen it.
Poor kid.
Um,
So you spent the whole time going, why is this the greatest movie ever? Because I'm not.
no,
buying
I
it.
really actually enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah, I really did.
Good.
We rented a cabin down in Cascade.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife and our best friends, we all went on like a four person getaway, and they had a DVD VCR combo.
Wait. We're not your best friends?
No, I wanted you guys
Right,
to go, but
right.
she's so busy with her show,
And we don't really like
and
you
you
guys.
don't you don't really care for us that much. So they had a DVD VCR combo, and they had like all those box sets that you see on like Time Warner or whatever. And there was Jurassic Park. I watched Jurassic Park.
Ah!
Yes, on VHS.
That's a classic.
Yeah, so that I did actually watch something that was worth talking about besides Channing Tatum movies and all the
Fantastic.
Valentine's bullshit. So yes, I finally saw Godfather, and it was really good. I really liked it.
Good. All right, what else we got on here?
So animated films are done. Actress in a supporting role. We've got Patricia Arquette for Boyhood.
Yeah.
We've got Laura Dern
Oh,
for Wild, who was in
done.
it for 10 minutes, right?
Done. I'm done. I want her.
Keira Knightley for The Imitation Game.
Okay.
Emma Stone got a nod for Birdman, so good for her. I love her. She's so cute. Meryl Streep for Into the Woods.
Laura Dern.
We didn't see Into the Woods, and Patricia Arquette will almost certainly win.
She
and
will.
I remember thinking she was probably my favorite part of Boyhood.
She was great.
I really liked her. That being said, Laura Dern knocked it out of the park for me. We
Knocked
both
it
came
out
out
of
of
the
Wild
park.
going, yeah, Reese Witherspoon is good, but that Laura Dern, what the hell happened? She's in 10 minutes and she's
Yeah.
great. I would love to see her.
What was
win.
great about it? Since it,
She
just because
just-
it was so short.
She just has so much heart, and she just makes you believe every moment she's on screen.
Yes.
Like you feel everything that
you
is
feel
going
like
on.
she's that woman.
Yeah.
She's the
She's-
Jurassic Park chick, right?
She's right
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that is the Jurassic Park chick.
Keira Knightley's fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put her on my top
I
five.
wouldn't put her on that best supporting actress list.
No, I mean she just kind of does her
She
standard
does it. She does
thing.
her Keira Knightley.
Like
thing.
she's not bad. She doesn't do anything wrong.
Right.
I mean, she has a job for a reason,
Right,
but she's
right.
nothing special.
Sure.
Not enough to be on the list. Okay,
And
go
I
up.
bet Meryl Streep's great. She's been nominated 17 times,
I
though.
know.
I guess now more.
Yeah.
Is it more than 17?
She gets nominated a lot.
She's great, though. She's great.
She's always
but
good.
I
So,
agree with you.
Best supporting actor.
Supporter, yes.
Haven't seen The Judge.
Robert Duvall for The Judge. Ethan Hawke for Boyhood. Edward Norton for Birdman.
Yes.
My favorite.
Mark Ruffalo for Foxcatcher. I
Haven't
didn't realize
seen
he was
it.
in that.
And Whiplash.
That's cool. And then J.K. Simmons for Whiplash.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So everything I've seen, I mean, literally everything has said J.K. Simmons is like a virtual lock for Whiplash. Everyone says it's the performance of the year.
Yeah, that's what.
The
that's
fact that it's
all I've
on
been
just
hearing,
supporting
too.
roles is
Yeah.
interesting. But I haven't seen it. Of the ones I've seen, Ed Norton.
Absolutely.
He was so good.
Absolutely.
Right?
That fucking
He's so funny.
that fucking
so
boner
good.
scene cracked me up so much. I don't know why, but it just cracked me. Like, what a piece of shit. Like, ultimately just no redeeming value piece of shit human.
Yeah.
But so funny.
I wonder if Duvall isn't in there just because
He needs to be.
he's been around for
Yeah.
so fucking long. Because all the reviews were kind of middle of the road on The Judge. Now, I've heard good things about Mark Ruffalo. I heard he does a
Yeah.
really good job with Foxcatcher.
Yeah.
Like a really good job. So I'd like to see it.
I'd like to see that
Yes.
All right, next
too. I
one.
really want to see Whiplash. Okay. Actress in a leading role. We've got Marion
Cotillard.
Cotillard, thank you, for 2 Days, One Night. We've got Felicity Jones for The Theory of
That's
Everything.
her right there in the picture.
Very pretty.
Felicity Jones.
Ooh, very pretty.
She was good.
Julianne Moore for Still Alice, which I've heard nothing but
yeah,
good things about
yeah,
her.
I agree.
Rosamund Pike for Gone Girl, and Reese Witherspoon for Wild.
I think it's a lock for Julianne Moore. I've
From
seen
what
a
I've
scene
heard.
from it.
Yeah.
We've seen, yeah, exactly.
All I've heard was Julianne Moore,
Yeah.
Julianne Moore, Julianne Moore.
But
I-
her performance with her Alzheimer's at a early onset,
Yeah.
they say is just like fantastic.
She probably will win and probably
I
deserves
hope
to, but I
so.
haven't seen it.
I
Of the
haven't
shows
seen
I
it.
saw, though, I'd like to just point out that Gone Girl barely got noticed, but I thought Gone Girl was really good, and I think Rosamund Pike did a decent job.
Fincher, right?
Yeah.
I think it was just one of those that kind of just got stuck in the cracks. You know?
I almost wonder if it was just like this number 6 on a lot of lists.
Yeah.
The Oscars, like number 6 on. I don't know. Okay, first of all, I don't know how Gone Girl isn't on Best Adapted Screenplay, the list.
Oh yeah,
Like, I would put Gone Girl at the top of. I thought it was a really well done screenplay. And the woman who did the screenplay is the same one who wrote the book.
Gillian Flynn.
Gillian Flynn. She
Yeah.
did, for a first screenplay, what a great job.
Yeah,
Just
fantastic.
amazing. But obviously it didn't get even nominated.
I
I don't know
know.
how. I
I don't
really
know.
don't.
Maybe it missed it by a vote.
Missed it by that much.
By this much. Okay, we've got actor in a leading role, Steve Carell for Foxcatcher.
Okay.
We've got Bradley Cooper for American Sniper.
Okay.
Benedict Cumberbatch for The Imitation Game. Michael Keaton for Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne for Theory of Everything. Holy shit, what are you going to do with that category?
What are you going to do? You go first, Nathan. Who should win and who do you think will win?
I've only seen 2 of these movies,
That makes it
unfortunately.
easy. So of the 2 you
So
saw.
of the 2 I've seen, fuck. Even just the 2 I saw is tough. Just the 2 I saw, it's got to be Michael Keaton, though.
Yeah. People think, what I've been hearing is people are saying Michael Keaton will probably win. He's the favorite.
Yeah.
I think he is the favorite.
For me, Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what was so weird about it was I felt so much and I was so involved and I liked the story and I liked the acting in The Theory of Everything, and we had just a couple weeks come out of The Imitation Game, which was another, biopic.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wasn't as affected by it. I didn't feel as involved, and I didn't feel like I felt like Benedict Cumberbatch did such a fantastic job of portraying Alan Turing in the same way that I felt Eddie Redmayne did.
Yeah,
So if I
right,
even compare just those 2, and even the Bradley Cooper character, I think that he did a great job. But
Yeah.
for me, the more powerful performance was Eddie Redmayne. And I think he's up against Keaton, but
Yeah. Michael
it's going to be
Keaton.
really tough.
Michael Keaton was
tough
just
for that
so wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think people love the kind of resurgent story, the reinventing yourself as an actor because
Yeah.
Keaton was big 20 years ago.
Yeah,
you
he was
know,
a big
and
deal.
Now he's in his 60s and he comes back. But to be fair, I mean, like Bradley Cooper didn't play Bradley Cooper.
Oh no.
You know, like he was not.
I believe that he was that person.
He played he played somebody. You know, like an actor does.
Oh,
I think
what
you went the
happened?
wrong direction.
Oh
there.
shit.
It's all right. Just,
We'll get there.
okay, so what's next? It's just Best Picture, right? Is that all we have left?
Yep.
Best
Okay.
Picture.
So we've got Best Picture: American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, which we haven't talked about yet, Theory of Everything, Whiplash, and that's everything. So that's
8.
8 this year. They do 8 every year, or they do 10
No.
sometimes.
Up to 10.
Between 5 and 10.
They
Okay.
changed it, but yeah, they don't have to pick.
Okay. So did anybody see Selma? Do we need to talk about that?
Did not. It gets a lot of people talk about how it was snubbed. We didn't go see it.
Because it had a black female director.
That's why we didn't go
And
see it.
no, that's
That's
not
why
why
I
we
didn't
didn't
go.
see it, jerkwad. No, but people are really upset that she wasn't nominated for Best Director, and so they're really upset about that.
Well, people are saying it. You know, she probably should have been because it's a good movie, but oftentimes the Academy won't vote for someone because they're young and it's their first movie, even when it's awesome, which is unfair because they have these weird choices.
Political rules and
There's a lot of politics involved because The Imitation Game probably shouldn't even be on the list. It's good. It's not the best movie of the
So
year.
yeah, we've seen 6 of those. We just haven't seen Whiplash and Selma.
Right.
Lewis.
Boyhood will probably win. That's what people are saying. But there's a chance Birdman could win. For me, I'm still sticking with my old Grand Budapest Hotel. No
Yeah.
It
surprise
doesn't
there.
have a chance, babe.
It doesn't.
I don't think
It doesn't.
does.
Theory of Everything doesn't have a chance either, even though it's really well done.
No, Grand Budapest was my number 1 for the year too.
I still
so.
think it's going to come down to Boyhood or American Sniper, just from everything that's been going on with it.
You think a Sniper has a better chance than Birdman?
I think it does.
All right. What would you pick? Is Sniper your best movie?
No.
Selma?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I know
but-
everything about that movie inside and out. Who's in it again? Out of that list and everything that I've heard about the ones that I haven't, I think it's going to come down between Boyhood, Whiplash, or American Sniper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably be Boyhood.
Probably
I
be
think
Boyhood.
it's gonna be Boyhood.
Someone made an interesting comment the other day that I hadn't really considered, but how much of our love of Boyhood is because of the gimmick? The fact that it's filmed over 12 years and you get to watch an actor literally grow up.
I don't think it's a gimmick.
See, I think it might be. Like, at first I didn't think so either, but then I started thinking, what if this was exactly the same movie, but instead of filming it over 12 years, they filmed it over 2 months and they just used
'cause you heard
actors to show the
somebody
difference.
say that.
But as soon as they said it, I was like, that would be the worst movie. Like, it would be a really kind of boring ass movie. Part of the joy of the movie is going, oh my gosh, look how big he's getting. Like, there's something, and that's the
But
point.
I think part of the picture, part of the best picture for that comes down to the
Commitment to
directing.
it.
Well, the commitment, but
Yeah.
the directing and the way that the story is told. It's not just, hey, we've got this gimmick. It was actually really seamless.
Yeah.
As the years went on, I just could barely tell that things were happening the way that it happens in real life, where you just grow up and
Right.
you look at your kid and you're like, wow, you're taller than me, you know? So I don't know. I don't want it to be. I don't think
No matter what, it's impressive.
It's a gimmick. It's impressive, and I think that to take a gimmick into 12 years, I don't
Yeah.
think it's a gimmick anymore. I think it's a project.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's
not
a
like
gimmick.
hey, I did this, in 3 months, eat it up. No, I did this over 12 years.
Yeah.
I've been with you for 10 years, so it's no
I
longer
know
a
it's
gimmick.
been freaking too long, right?
It's a project at this point.
That's true. That's just true.
Spoken like a
That's
true man that's been in there for 10 years. I've been there 9, so I'm right behind you. It's a project.
All right, so those are our Oscar thoughts. We'll have to discuss what what actually happened.
If
in
we're
a
both
later
still here
episode.
next week and not dead from our perspective.
So-
wise.
He's as much of a project as I
Oh my
am.
God.
Oh, am I?
Let's get this straight.
So
so adorable.
last
It's great.
week I assigned a homework I wanted to have us watch a Polish movie called Ida. As we just mentioned, it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Foreign Film and for cinematography. I had a colleague at school. I asked him what his favorite movie of the year was, and he said, well, you've probably not even heard of it. It's called Ida. And I was like, nope, haven't heard of it. So I went and checked it out, and sure enough, it was on Netflix Watch Instantly. So I assigned it, and everyone, like Nathan, was like, boo.
Yeah.
It looks...
I did. I rolled
Black and white.
I rolled my
foreign
eyes. I was
language.
like, God damn it. I read the description of it. I was like, God, I can't wait for this to be fucking over with.
All 1 hour and 22 minutes, though. It's not
Pretty
that
short.
long.
It was quick, yeah.
Not that long.
It's a black and white Polish movie about a young girl who's about to take her vows as a nun, but first she has to go out and meet her
Aunt.
aunt.
And find out about her family history.
Mm-hmm. And then she's going to come back and
Sounds like bullshit on the surface.
Right?
5 minutes into it, I was like, fuck you, Lewis.
Yeah.
15 minutes into it, I was like, this is amazing. We were talking about this before the movie or before the show started, just how beautifully shot it was. And one of my observations was everything goes so slowly on purpose. It seemed to me it was very on purpose and deliberate. But before a scene really starts and anything really happens, an initial shot gets set up, and it looks like you're looking at a moving pencil sketch. To me, is what it looked like, because since it was in black and white, I'm like, this looks like a fucking pencil sketch. And so just like a car will pull up in front of a house, and then it'll just sit there, and then they'll get out, and then they'll walk in, and you'll still be at that shot, and then it finally cuts. And you're like, geez, it's like watching a picture book almost. It's really fucking fascinating.
That's interesting, because I was thinking, as I watched it, like shot after shot, I kept going, I'd hang that on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful shot. I'd hang that on my wall. But literally every shot in this movie, I thought,
So
I'd
pretty,
hang that on my wall. They're
pretty
just
to look at.
So
Beautiful.
pretty.
Yeah, and she, like, as plain as she was, by about halfway through it, I'm like, God, she is so pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't stop looking at how, like, all you get is eyes, nose, and mouth. I'm like, she's so gorgeous.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the cinematography. It dwells on her and on the others in such a way that you really become intimately, like, connected to them.
Yeah. I really started to care that she found out about her past, because it really took some fucking effort.
Her past was interesting, too.
Yeah, it was
I didn't
checkered.
think the film was going to go there and
Yeah,
do
me
what
either.
it did and show us what it did. And so I think it was just really
And
good, because
yeah.
it needed to go to some dark places for the ending and the resolution for the two main characters to
Yes.
really be believable.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was really, fascinating that someone that's about to go take their vows actually took up a drunken aunt's, I wouldn't call it a dying wish or anything by any means, but like it was definitely it might have been a drunken suggestion, but it was just a suggestion saying, how are you going to believe in your vows, and how are your vows how are you giving up in anything for your vows if you don't know what you're missing?
That's interesting, too.
I thought that was really
one, yeah.
fascinating that she and it was just a passing line that I almost forgot about. And then she grabs that bottle. I'm like, oh, she's doing it. She's going to go for it. She's going to do it. Oh my God. She fucking gets drunk. She smokes a cigarette. She has sex with that boy, and and then she goes and makes her choice. I'm like, holy shit. She fucking did it. I was almost like quietly cheering for her. I'm like, yay, you go. You find out what you need to know. I thought it was really interesting that she actually went for it.
Yeah.
Did not see her fucking jumping out that window. I really didn't. I
Okay.
didn't see that
You're
shit.
using a lot of hers and she's. We have. Yeah,
It's
so
okay.
There's two people to
There's
keep track
two
of.
people. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of attuned to visual cues and like framing.
Yeah.
So I know we were talking about pictures and beautiful scenes, and when the aunt's
Just the
there
way
and
that frame was shot.
she fixes the music and the camera just stays and she walks off frame. I was like, nope.
Uh-oh.
There's an open window.
Uh-oh.
Nope. And then the way it happened was just.
She just went for it.
Yeah, that's what
No hesitation,
I'm
no
gonna go for it.
no slowing, no rushing, no nothing, no waiting. It was just out, and it was just.
I couldn't figure out why though. She seemed bummed out. She didn't seem depressed. She didn't seem suicidal by any means. I couldn't figure out what I couldn't figure out what snapped. What happened? Why did she snap?
I think she found the solution to her question. Her question was, what happened to my son?
Mm-hmm.
Because the aunt had a son.
Yes.
And she thinks she knows what happened. But when she literally finds out and then deals with it,
She couldn't deal with it.
then what's left?
Yeah.
I think, because like even her job, she was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
I think
Seems like she hated it. She drank all the time.
right, but I think what drove her in that job, what kept her going, was this kind of
Quest.
anger and
Yeah.
this need to find justice and so forth. And I think when she finally gets to the end of that rope, where that line where she's like, okay,
I got no more justice to
where
serve.
where else is there to go? And she wasn't a happy person. It's
No.
not like she was off doing fun things with her friends all the time.
No.
So yeah, I feel like she had reached her conclusion and just said, well, I'm done. That can happen, right?
Sure,
I
sure.
guess people can do that.
For me, this is how I think it's great that there could be several interpretations of what happened and why these characters did what they did. But for me, I found that we saw the aunt. She wasn't happy. She wasn't fulfilled. She smoked and she drank and she wore high heels and she had sex and she was just kind of empty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also see Ida back at the church and she's kind of going through the motions. She
Yeah.
seems and feels
She
kind
seems
of
a little empty. Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think the decision at the end is I'm going to try something new because I'm not happy.
Sure.
So she tried the smoking, she tried the drinking, she tried the sex, and she realized, oh, we all just fill our lives with stuff to get us by, and we live our lives and then we die.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like I feel like the film's actually like asking us existential questions. Like, what do you think life is? We see that boy that she sleeps with, and she says, well, what are we going to do? And he's
Yeah,
like,
what's
we'll
next?
get a dog. Yeah,
Yeah.
what's next? We'll get a dog. We'll get married. We'll have kids. We'll live life.
Yeah.
And then she kind of looks at him and thinks, well, that doesn't sound,
Yeah,
what is
like,
that?
well-
Like, is that supposed to bring meaning to my life?
Yeah.
So I think for her, she realized drink, smoke, go be a nun. They're both
It's the same
they're
thing.
both the same thing.
Same,
I think
yeah.
that-
And I might as well just go do the thing that I've
already
been the
been
most
doing.
comfortable
Yeah.
with, or the one that I know the most,
Yeah.
because they're both meaningless.
Same side of the same coin. Yeah.
And I feel like the ending is very tragic and very sad and very upsetting because we don't like to think about life being meaningless, right?
Sure.
We don't want to think ourselves as little ants or that we're just barely a blink in the whole span of humanity. But I think that's what it is at the end. That's
Yeah.
what I see in the film.
Okay, I'm gonna go kill myself.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
jeez, no.
All right, I won't.
That's
You
a-
But
said not to.
I think that's the
was-
darkest joke you've ever made, Lewis. Congratulations.
The-
Oh yes, it was
It
a
was-
joke.
Babe.
Wow, you're going for it. It's good. It's
No,
good.
it was a beautiful, beautiful
It
film.
really was. I couldn't
I
stop.
really liked
I
it.
couldn't stop thinking about just how visually stunning it was, and yeah,
Well, and one last thing about the beauty of the shots. The framing of characters was really interesting to me because traditionally, when you put a person's head in the picture, like in a film, you're supposed to have their eyes. If you were to divide the film top, middle, bottom,
Yeah.
you divide it into thirds.
Mm-hmm.
The line between top and middle is where the eyes go.
Okay.
That's called the eye line
Okay.
in photography. In Ida, the eye line was quite
Between
often
the
low.
middle
Yeah.
and the bottom.
so there was all this space above them.
Look
just
at the
empty,
picture, just the picture right
Yeah.
there, her head.
a
It's
lot of
halfway.
empty space above,
Yeah.
and then she was always low. And I started to wonder about that, and I started feeling like, okay, so she's a nun, and what's above her, God or whatever? It's emptiness. She's always got emptiness over her. And so I started to see all this symbolism in the way the film, and it's very purposefully shot
Sure.
the way it's shot.
Well, I thought it was more along the lines of since she's a nun and everything in the world is sexualized and she's a nun, they went from shoulders up just to show her face so that you can't sexualize the nun.
That could be, but I feel like they shot a lot of people down in that
yeah,
bottom
yeah.
third. And it was really, there's a lot of shots where they're almost hard to see people. There's one shot where she's sunk so far down that you can't see half her face anymore.
Yes.
And I was like, man, she's disappearing from the screen. Like, it's almost like
Yeah.
her soul is fading out so much that we just don't see her anymore.
Yeah.
She's just fading away.
How
So-
did you like the 5-second religious debate that they had about your Jesus would love someone like me. What about Mary Magdalene? And they have the fight over the Bible. She's like, I'm going to show you. She's like, no, you're not. I thought that was really interesting, too.
It was.
Yeah,
There's a lot going. This is definitely a movie about religion and meaning in life.
Or
and,
lack thereof.
Or lack, and how we find that stuff.
And what happens when people are monsters, too? I think that's part of it. Because it's not just about beliefs and about faith and about religion and God. It's also about how does all that stuff fit into a world where we have the Holocaust, where we have World War I and World War II. How do we deal with those things?
It's not an accident that the guy tells the story of how he killed people while he's sitting inside a hole that's obviously a grave.
Yes.
Like he's clearly like death.
Yes.
Like when you're sitting in a grave telling a story, you're representing death. There's a lot of visual symbolism in this one. As boring as it looks, I'm gonna say it was an alright watch.
I really liked it.
I'm not necessarily gonna watch it every day.
I probably won't watch it again, but I saw it once and enjoyed the shit out of it.
Way to go. Well, let's move on. Kim, what's our homework for next episode? That's what we need to know. It's your turn.
So we all saw
Wrong.
Why is that so hard to remember? Because now we want to see the sequel, or not the sequel. It's the
follow-up,
the spin-off, or something called Wrong Cops.
Wrong Cops.
And it's directed by the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Same guy that did Rubber and Wrong, which we've discussed both of those on this show.
Yep.
So Wrong Cops.
I want to see Wrong Cops. I want to see it. There's this fantastic poster of this man exposing his man boobs on the cover. It looks
really?
So bad.
Yeah. Come on, you've seen the cover to the
cover.
Show me the Wrong Cops cover. I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, it takes those cops that are pretty ill-behaved in Wrong, and it makes them the focus of the movie. So that's all I know about it, but see, he's got a little cleavage.
Quite a bit of cleavage.
Why is he doing that?
Because he's a bad cop.
He's a wrong cop.
He's a wrong cop.
All right, we'll check it out.
Don't watch Bad Cops Volume 1.
Okay.
No.
Watch Wrong Cops.
Wrong Cops. 2013. It's only 82 minutes long. That's not too long.
Picked short. Exactly. An hour and 22 minutes both.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll get something a little longer.
Interesting.
All right, well, that's it. That's it for episode 99. We're checking out. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and talking to us. If you have any thoughts or comments that you'd like to leave us, please contact us on Facebook, Time Spent Poorly, and tell us who you think's going to win the Oscars and who deserves it. If there's any shows you'd like us to watch, please ask. I assume you check that stuff, right?
Oh, every day.
Nathan? Okay.
Every day. Yep.
You can also find us at timespentpoorly.com. You
Yes.
can go to YouTube and watch us on YouTube.
And iTunes.
And you can go to iTunes and subscribe to Time Spent Poorly and listen to Hangin' from the Balcony.
Hanging from the balcony.
The number one
from the balcony.
The number one rated show on Time Spent Poorly Network.
That's right. And in our own heads.
And in my, it's second place in my head. I don't know how that works. Oh. Yeah, so check us out. And we will be back next week for our 100th episode. Woo! Just amazed to still be alive.
Me too.
Feels good to be here.
I'm really surprised that this made it past show 10.
I didn't think you were going to make it to our 100th episode after you killed yourself. You're
we'll
excited
see
to be
if I'm
here.
here
I'm
next time.
excited to be alive.
Yay! We'll have to make sure. Yeah.
Just thrilled to be alive.
We'll just do a Lewis update from now on.
Suicide Watch.
Suicide Watch with Lewis Professor.
With Lewis the Professor. Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Oh, God.
All right,
I'm
folks.
still here. Shit.
Thanks so much for tuning
Life
in.
is schlock.
And as always, guys, have a wonderful night at the movies. Is that what we say?
Something like that.
Okay.
Pretty sure on the 100th episode, we should know that by now.